Hi, my name is Joel Bryant, and I want to welcome you to today's Voice of Greatness broadcast. And today's broadcast is really dedicated to the disgruntled dreamer inside of all of us. Each of us carries around an image or an idea of the person that we can be if we had conditions that were more conducive for our success. Let's face it, all of us face limitations. They may vary, the kind and the degree may vary, but we all have them. And so as you begin your journey towards greatness, you're going to realize it's all about how do I utilize my resources and my resourcefulness to create conditions that allow me to ascend and to excel. And that's really the difference between great people and ordinary people. Great people are success-minded, ordinary people are excuse-minded. And so if you're really going to have a successful journey towards greatness, as I said in the previous broadcast, you have got to settle once and for all that you're going to accept no excuses, even those that are legitimate. One of the things that I find as I have been an educator and an author and just the different things I've been able to do in my life, and I've been able to talk to all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds, wealthy, impoverished, successful, and those who just live ordinary lives. And what I find is it's the attitude. What is attitude? It is the internal framework that you use to process your reality. Some people say it's like optimism or pessimism, but it's really a lot deeper than that. Because people who are pessimistic are really saying to you and to themselves, I lack the inner resources, or I lack the inner resourcefulness to figure out what I need and to bring that into my life and then change my circumstances. And optimist says, you know what? I have what I need to go and find the help that I need to overcome this circumstance that I find undesirable. And one thing about journey towards greatness, great people learn to transcend what they can't transform. Because let's face it, some things in your life you're not going to be able to change. And I call that the perplexity of greatness. Many of you have done, you probably bought all the success books, The Secret, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, whatever book is on the bestseller list now, you bought that book and you began to read it with excitement. And then about 3 months later, it was on the shelf beside the other books. And you know why? Because most people write how-to books, but I see very few have-to books. See, great people have to succeed. There is almost like a mandate upon their lives. Their potential makes a claim upon their person that they have to answer that call. And that doesn't mean they're special. They're just responsive. And so I want to encourage you today, because it doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what you have and what you lack. If you're committed to your highest good, then you can achieve your dreams. You may have to modify your dreams. I like the way Jay-Z said it. He said, there's nothing wrong with my aim. I just need to change my target. Are you willing to adjust? I mean, I wanted to be a basketball player growing up. Now I'm 5'7" and 180. I was not going to make the NBA. But the discipline that I learned from shooting basketball every day and every night, I transformed that into academics. So nothing that you go through in your life is ever wasted. See, that's called having a sense of destiny. Your life is not a mistake. It's not a circumstance. It's not a happenstance. You were put here on purpose. And the question is, what is my purpose? How do I find it? Well, you find your purpose through goal setting. How do I set a meaningful goal? How do I deal with the conflict of greatness? Not the conflict that comes from being great, but the conflict that comes from trying to achieve greatness. We're going to talk about that over the next several months. How do I handle what I call the perplexity of greatness? I like it. I like the way one passage says it in a religious text. It says, ask and you shall receive. Seek and you shall find. Knock and the door will be answered. But what do you do when you've asked, you've sought, and you've knocked, and nothing happens? Do you take that as a sign to quit? To say, well, you know what? It wasn't destined for me to be one of those special people. I guess I've just chosen to live a life that's lower than I imagined. That is not the case. That is not true. When you face failure and adversity and setback and hardship, all that is a call to become more committed. I always say it this way to people that know me, and as you can tell as I'm making this tape, before I allow any human being on this planet to make me shut up, before I even censor my own self, I will stutter my way to greatness. And you have to have that same attitude. See, nobody can make that choice for you. If I give you all the tips in the world, all the techniques, all the tactics, all the strategies, if you don't have a fundamental commitment to apply those things and employ those things, they won't mean anything. And that's why I think that a have-to book is equally more important than a how-to book or whatever medium that the message is delivered in. I really love the way Billy Joel said it. Because as I said before, we all face limitations. We all have restrictions. We all have structures that seem to strangle us and stop us from being who we want to be. But Billy Joel said it this way in response to a critic who praised his music and his style of music. And Billy Joel said this. He said, "My style is a result of my limitations because there are just some things that I can't do." Billy Joel recognized he had limited musical ability, although it's better than 99% of the people in the world, but all of us have a limitation. So how do you work inside that limitation without being limited or hindered from you achieving your dreams? Well, we're going to talk about that as I pursue this broadcast over the next several months. How do you overcome what I call the compromise of greatness? You know, you have these friends say, you know, Joel, Steve, Angela, whatever your name is, quit dreaming. Get real. Let me tell you something. This technology that you're watching me on was once only a dream. Let me tell you something. History is simply a record of the impossible. So I want to encourage you. You've got to set meaningful goals. We're going to talk about in this next broadcast, we're going to talk about how do you set meaningful goals? How do you sustain your intentionality towards those goals? How do you adjust those goals when you're not getting the success you need? How do you course correct? Now, you can get all of that from a book pretty much. I mean, the how-to. But what you can get from this broadcast and from what I've been able to acquire over the last 25 years is you're going to get a greater sense of a have-to. As I said before, nothing is ever settled if you're willing to try. Nothing is ever settled. There is always an option, a way of getting by. Nothing is ever settled if you're willing to try. So don't give in to believing that the end has come. You're in the race as long as you decide to run. See, I can't tell you when to quit. You can't tell me when to quit. That's a personal choice. But we all desire greatness. We all desire to have a meaningful life. I've said that before. But what we really want to talk about is how do we deal with this arduous ascent to this place that you and I envision. I can't define it for you, but I can help you get there. Greatness is really a community product. Nobody becomes great by themselves. Anybody that achieves greatness, you know, we hear this lie. I call it the lie of the self-made man. I've never met a self-made man or a self-made woman. Everybody that made anything in their life is indebted to other people who patronize, who supported, who encourage, who even criticize. Because great people take all of the things they experience and they put that inside themselves, and that becomes the energy to sustain their inspiration toward their goals and their dreams. So I want to bring this to a close today, but I really want to encourage that disgruntled dreamer. That person that when you're at work and you think, God, I got to do something different. Here's one of the ways, as I close, how you sustain your intentionality. The same emotions that you have when you're excited about your job or your dreams, or you are hating your job, great people practice what I call the principle of containment. They take that excitement, that disgust, that frustration, whatever that emotion is, they take that emotion and they put it in a container and they allow themselves to be driven by that emotion. What do I mean by that? Most people get excited when they go to a seminar. They're telling everybody about the seminar. They're excited. They're committed. But as I said again, 3 months later, they have forgotten that. Usually not 3 months. It's usually a couple of days or a couple of hours. My favorite saying in the entire world, I read about 20 years ago, and associate this with greatness. It said that character is the ability to carry out a good idea long after the inspiration of the moment has faded. And let me just end this way. Because if you're serious about the journey towards greatness, then I invite you to join me. Let's go there together. If you want to achieve your old childhood dream, today must begin your labors, for it is later than it seems. If you want success to one day become yours, you must now take the challenge, placing your hands against the oars. If you want your desire to one day materialize, you must now accept the challenge before the dream dies. If you want your life to be full and content, today is a day, for the night is far spent. Please email me at joel@joelbryant1.com if you have questions. I'm going to be talking more about the For Dreamers Only Academy over the next couple of weeks, and I have something really special planned for you guys and girls that I really want to just help you and coach you and counsel you and encourage you as you make your journey toward greatness. But for now, I want to sign off and say thank you for watching, and good luck and Godspeed in your journey toward greatness. I'm Joel Bryant, and have a great day.